In a trailer for the film, we see an escaped slave running through the woods, the sound of barking bloodhounds not far behind.
Men bought and sold me, paid my price in paltry gold, but though they have enrolled me, minds are never to be sold.
Kris Bailey, a K-State grad student, is in the documentary portraying a runaway slave. Had he been alive in Kansas a little more than 150 years ago, Bailey might very well have been the slave he's pretending to be in the film, running scared, seeking shelter, and hoping for a little help along the Underground Railroad in Wabaunsee County.
I hadn't had any knowledge of that stuff previous to working on this. Like, we went on actually a field trip before I got involved in this in my undergrad. We did a field trip out to Wabaunsee County, and I have grown up in Manhattan, and I had no clue about that. No clue at all. So that was like just really eye-opening to me to get that kind of history firsthand, and then being asked to be a part of it was just like, man, of course.
Rusty Earl, the director of Dawn of Day, says they chose to focus on Wabaunsee County because, while it was sparsely populated, it was still a hotbed of activity along the Underground Railroad.
It was, in many ways. Certainly when you look at places in Topeka, out in Lawrence, where we have many, many stories of hundreds of people being helped along the Underground Railroad. In perspective, in Wabaunsee, it was in the dozens, if that. But the county itself became kind of this gathering place of people from all over the country. Immigrants and others came purposely to be involved in the Free State movement.
And there are locations in Wabaunsee County today that we can tell this is where this happened. This was a stop on the Underground Railroad.
Yes, exactly. For many years, there's been documented places. The Mitchell home, Captain William Mitchell, who was one of these first settlers in the Wabaunsee County area, he built a log cabin. This cabin, the loft above it, was actually one of the places where he and his sister Agnes kept some of these fugitive slaves.
This documentary is called Dawn of Day, Stories from the Underground Railroad. What will we learn by watching this?
I think in simple terms, we think about unsung heroes. We think about people that did not have to get involved, but along the way, when they settle in the area, especially in Wabaunsee County, they inspired people, even people that had been there a couple years before them, to get involved. And you'll hear about their motives and their purposes.
To collect all these stories and provide that narrative of what the Underground Railroad is about, that's something that needs to be done so that we can honor those people that did this great thing. And that's a great benefit of this story, the fact that it shows that as human beings, we're capable of doing the right thing.
It's hard to find stories where we actually hear what the slaves said. What were their names? Where did they come from? That's very difficult. Those few stories we have, it's like these gold nuggets.
Kris Bailey, you have studied social studies. You're a student of history. What did you learn as a result of taking part in this documentary?
Just learning about these stories about the heroes that come from the East Coast who go so far as to create these safe havens in Northeast Kansas, that was just all fascinating to me. It was all new knowledge to me.
I think we underestimate what motivates people to do what we consider to be the right thing. Many people that have watched this or that have even studied it keep on saying to themselves, would I have had the courage to do what they did? Would I be willing to take out a whole month of my life, out of my life, to transport people at great cost to myself? It was against the law what they were doing, and yet they made that moral choice to say, no, I'm going to follow a higher law. I'm going to do something that will help these people.